can think of several occasions when you're faced with the ethical dilemma. I believe the do not resuscitate orders are there when a person is lucid enough and they establish a power of attorney, someone that they feel that they can trust, to say, yeah, I do not want this resuscitation to happen whenever the DNR is placed. I cannot honestly count on both hands how many times that I've had a patient with a valid DNR, appropriate paperwork, and the power of attorney on that documentation says, do whatever you have to. Do everything that you can to keep that person alive. Especially when it's dire, and a lot of the time it's the disease process is the reason that they got that DNR. In that moment of shock, they're faced with the reality of, I'm going to lose my loved one forever. Maybe this isn't their time. Maybe we should give it every opportunity that they have. They know in their heart that the DNR was placed for a reason, and that's that person's wishes. They're making, and I'm not saying they're bad people, but they're making that selfish choice that they have the power to void that DNR, so they're going to do it. And I'm in that place where if it's legal, I have to comply. I have to say, okay, we'll honor your wishes and we'll work this patient. I like to take times out to explain to them the situation is dire. This DNR is in place for a reason. They obviously wanted it. So take a step back, take a step away from the patient, so they're not having to look at what's going on, this part of life, their loved one on the ground, and saying, that's the person that I want to stay in my life, and I would do anything for just one more day with that person. So best case scenario, we get that person breathing again, and that person goes into a CCU where they're intubated, they're hooked onto a respirator, and that's going to be the last image they see of their loved one. And then more often than not, they're going to end up expiring due to the cardiac arrest anyway, or whatever interventions that we did while bringing that person back to life. A lot of the times when a DNR is in place, they had some disease process in order, or they were just so old that they're at a point where they have accepted the fact that they're going to die someday. And just CPR alone as part of the resuscitative process is so brutal and so taxing on the body that it's hard for a young person with a fully involved immune system to come back from. So you're taking a person who's probably accepted the fact that they're going to expire due to natural cause or some other reason, and then you're throwing that entire process at them. Is there a chance that they could make a full recovery? Absolutely. Is it likely? Probably not. And, I'm not going to make up statistics, but I would say that 9 out of 10, they're not going to make a full recovery, and they're not going to be the same, and the quality of life is going to be greatly diminished a lot of the times because of the things that we had to do to bring them back to life, because CPR is brutal. The drugs that we give have brutal effects on the body. The recovery process is incredibly brutal, and there's no guarantee that they can come out. So whenever I have a family member and I'm looking at a DNR with a person that wished to not be resuscitated on the ground, I like to take time to explain to them. Still while doing my job and respecting their wishes, because we have to do our job within the boundaries of the law to be able to practice and keep doing our jobs that we like, and explain to them this is what they wanted. I want you to take a step back and think about this. This is what they wanted. This is a brutal process. Think about everything that comes into play. Sometimes you have to let go, and that's an incredibly hard decision to make in the heat of the moment, but talking these people through it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and at the end of the day, I'll do whatever I have to within the boundaries of the law, but we're often faced with these ethical reasons that so many times that they have a DNR in place, and then the family member, the power of attorney, decides that they have this in place, but we don't want to let go. We're not ready to let go. So they choose to void that DNR, and it's incredibly unfortunate to see.
Is there ever an opposite situation where someone maybe they have cancer and they look relatively healthy, but they're in a cardiac arrest, and the family member says that they have a DNR, but they're not able to present it?
Absolutely. I've been faced in a situation where somebody was still breathing, and the family tried to push a DNR on me. A do not resuscitate order, or a living will, or just the different variations of what you have. For do not resuscitate order doesn't mean not to treat, period. Some living wills or advance directives say do not intubate, do not do this, do not do that. And at the end of if they have DPOA on the person, they make medical decisions for them. And I've had one instance where somebody has said, I don't want anything done for this person. And they're still breathing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to contact medical control. I'm going to contact the doctor and say, here's what I have. Here's what I have. I've got a DPOA saying that they don't want this done. I've got a do not resuscitate order that doesn't specify this, and medical control will tell me exactly what I need to do. If it's to a point where I have to respect the wishes of the DNR, or I have to respect the wishes of the advance directive, then I'm in a position to where I'm there watching someone die. That's incredibly hard to do. You think, when you see somebody fall down, your first reaction is to help them up. When you see somebody in trouble, your first reaction, if you decide to act on it or not, is to help that person. You're watching somebody expire in front of your eyes, and that's not in our human nature to do, not in a normal person's psyche to do. So you're sitting there watching the event, trying to explain to the family what's going on. It brings in an incredible ethical dilemma, but once again, you have to stay within the boundaries of the law, because the next situation may be different. There may be someone else you can help down the line, and you have to abide by the laws if you want to keep and continue doing the job that you love to do.
Okay.